This is 24 Enterprises, and today's theme is Tricked Again. This is what happens when we put our faith in people to represent us and they become corrupt and they don't have our best interests at heart. So we can see that the Supreme Court justices, at least two of them, have actually proved themselves unworthy to be even mentioned as a Supreme Court justice. But yet they're still in their roles. And why is that? Because we do nothing. What happens when good people do nothing? Bad things happen. So let's start with Congress makes the laws, the judicial branch interprets the laws, and now they're seeking to expand the executive branch who enforces the laws with greater power. The reason why there's a balance of power is because every branch, if it does its job just and fairly, can check the other branches. And nobody will act like a king. But let's look at something that reminds me of what it was like for the colonies back when they wanted democracy. We forget sometimes how it was. So therefore we let these things happen to us. The Declaration of Independence stated, "We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness." Too bad that did not account for everybody. That to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed, that whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it, and to institute new government, laying its foundations on such principles and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness. Prudence, indeed, will dictate the government's long established should not be changed for light and transient causes. And accordingly, all experience has shown that mankind are more disposed to suffer while evils are sufferable than to right themselves by abolishing the forms to which they are accustomed. But when a long train of abuses and usurpations pursuing invariably the same objective evinces a design to reduce them under absolute despotism, it is their right, it is their duty to throw off such government and to provide new guards for their future security. Such has been the patient and sufferable of these colonies, and such is now the necessity which constrains them to alter their former system of government. So, I won't finish the rest of that, but it strictly says that when governments, branches of governments, come together and they don't do what they're supposed to, see, it's the people that's supposed to hold the power. But remember, we entrusted somebody else, okay, to govern us. It's almost like entrusting your children to somebody, and then you know something is bad happening to them, but you don't go get them. You don't save them. Sometimes you have to save yourself. You have to save your children. So let's look at something that's trying to be enacted, and I'm talking about Project 2025, Presidential Transition Project. Let's see if these are some things that will be sufferable to us. In no-fault divorce, complete ban on abortions without exceptions, ban contraceptives, additional tax breaks for corporations and the 1%, higher taxes for the working class, elimination of unions and worker protections, raise the retirement age, cut Social Security, cut Medicare, in the Affordable Care Act, raise prescription drug prices, eliminate the Department of Education. Yeah, that's right. Don't educate people, at least most of the people. See how that works. Use public taxpayer money for private religious schools. Teach Christian religious beliefs in public schools. You don't, the church don't believe in Christian religious beliefs, but you want to teach it to the children in school. End free and discounted school lunch programs. End civil rights and DEI protections in government. Ban African American and gender studies in all levels of education. Well, you've done that for centuries. Ban books and curriculum about slavery. You've also done that for centuries. Ending climate protections. Increase Arctic drilling. Deregulate big business and the oil industry. Promote and expedite capital punishment. End marriage equality. Condemn single mothers while promoting only traditional families. Defund the FBI and Homeland Security. Use the military to break up domestic protests. Now, this one is in particular, it's really something that we need to look at. Who makes up the military? Oh, that's right, they were talking about instituting a draft. Well, do you think that the wealthiest children are going to be the ones that are serving in the military? No, it will be the taxpayers' children. And those same children are supposed to be the ones to break up domestic protests. So, turn your children against you. Mass deportation of immigrants and incarceration in camps. End birthright citizenship. Ban Muslims from entering the country. Eliminates federal agencies like the FDA, EPA, NOAA, and more. Continue to pack the Supreme Court and lower courts with right-wing judges. So that would be judges that would be sympathetic to the executive branch expansion, which is non-sympathetic to the people who it's supposed to govern, which will be you, me, and American citizens. Now, the Declaration of Independence, we spoke about, it is the duty, it is the right of citizens to rise up and take their power back and change things that do not work in its favor. This is too far enterprises. Think about it.